James Comey just got indicted, and I read the indictment document. It's very short. Anyone can read it in 30 seconds. It will be the dumbest thing you ever read if you know anything about what James Comey actually did and did a little bit of research into what they're going off of here. So let's look at this indictment document right here. So basically, James Comey said in 2017 and then again in 2020 that he never authorized the leakage of any FBI probe, any FBI personnel to leak any information. Now, what is so ironic about this indictment is that it is about a leak that happened a few days before the 2016 election on October 30th that benefited Trump. They are indicting this guy over authorizing a leak that benefited Trump. That is how dumb this is. And by the way, the attorney who's prosecuting this never prosecuted a criminal case in her life, was a previous insurance lawyer, and her predecessor just got fired for not prosecuting Letitia James. My brain is fried. All right. So they're saying that James Comey did willfully and knowingly make material false, fictitious, fraudulent statements in a matter of within the jurisdiction of legislative branch, whatever, had not authorized someone else to the FBI to be an anonymous source in news reports. So here, and regarding an FBI investigation concerning person one. Concerning person one is probably Hillary Clinton, if I'm gonna be guessing, because we're talking about the Clinton Foundation probe, not the probe into Hillary Clinton's own email situation. But this whole thing revolves around Comey's deputy, Andrew McCabe. Because what is the only evidence that we have, public evidence, that Comey ever authorized someone to release anything, and was what Andrew McCabe said. And Andrew McCabe is a serial liar. We know that from the Horowitz report. Horowitz was a very effective inspector general under Donald Trump, his first term. He concluded in 2018 that McCabe had spent the whole year after he initially lied that he hadn't leaked the Clinton Foundation probe to the Wall Street Journal, lying multiple times to investigators. He referred him to prosecution. The Trump DOJ didn't take it up because the lies were pretty small. But then again, this whole crime is pretty small, so I understand not prosecuting it. Even if everything they say here is true, it's not going to result in anything. It's why it's so stupid, and everyone's saying anything on Twitter about how this is significant has no idea what they're talking about. Of course, that statement was false because James B. Comey knew that then and there, in fact, he had authorized person 3 to serve as an anonymous news source reporting regarding an FBI investigation concerning person 1. Person 3 is probably Andrew McCabe. If I'm just off the bat, who do I think all these people are? And then they're using his own false statements to add another obstruction charge, which I don't know how that's not a double jeopardy issue. But I guess Lindsay Halligan, right, the replacement attorney in the Virginia office, is a genius. She probably knows what she's doing. Even though all of her prosecutors, if you read any of the reporting about this, told her this was a horrible idea. Her deputy told her it was a horrible idea. Like the person that was the intermediary between the person that Trump fired for not doing political prosecutions, Eric Siebert, and Lindsay Halligan said, this is a horrible idea. Everyone at the DOJ said it's a horrible idea. It's against DOJ protocol. You have to have at least a 50% chance of getting a conviction to do anything. So this is litigious nonsense. Let's watch a Fox News clip.
Here with us now, Jonathan Turley, Fox News contributor, GW University law professor. Jonathan, I want to play part of the moment from 2017 that may be at the center of all this. Watch.
Have you ever been an anonymous source in news reports about matters relating to the Trump investigation or the Clinton investigation?
Never.
Have you ever authorized someone else at the FBI to be an anonymous source in news reports about the Trump investigation or the Clinton investigation?
No.
Professor Turley, what are your thoughts after looking over this very short document that we have?
All right, before we get these thoughts, these insightful thoughts that I have not heard yet, let me just say something about the questions that Chuck Grassley was asking Comey, right? He said the Trump investigation or the Hillary Clinton investigation. So he's clearly referring to the email investigation or Crossfire Hurricane. The McCabe example is none of the above. So, and by the way, even in the McCabe example, Comey has no incentive to lie here. In his 2017, interview or congressional testimony, he had no incentive to lie. He could have just said, "I authorized it. No classified information was broken. I authorized it. I made other mistakes, many mistakes as FBI director that James Comey cops to this day. That was another mistake I made." He would have nothing to lose there. Andrew McCabe, however, has made himself a serial liar and has to, it feels the need somehow to rebuild his reputation or protect himself because he's already been outed as a fraud, right? So, why stop lying? Just keep lying and somehow you're going to prevent yourself from being dug into a deeper hole, right? Just say you're telling the truth. Let's hear what this guy has to say, though.
Before us.
Well, there's a crushing irony here because the two counts involve 18 U.S.C. 1001, 18 U.S.C. 1505. The first one is the very same crime that Comey made against Michael Flynn. And Comey gave speeches delighting crowds and explaining how what he did with Flynn wasn't exactly copacetic, that he just sent a couple of guys over and basically tricked him. And ultimately, they charged him on what many of us thought was a pretty thin indictment. So there is that.
I'm going to stop it right there. The Flynn lies are documented. We have the wiretap. We have the transcript of the calls between him and the Russian national that he was discussing sanctions with. We know he lied. The question is just, did he intend to lie? And did he really forget everything he said on those calls and that he had made those calls just a few months after? When that's probably one of the most significant things he's ever done in his life, right? Make a call to Russia, to highly politically connected people, and talk about sanctions and how they should hold off on sanctions and stuff. So, very small lie, by the way. So I don't really care that he wasn't prosecuted. In the whole Mueller investigation saga, Flynn is relatively small. Everyone else is quite big. But I don't know why he's making that comparison. The evidence for Flynn is much, much greater than the evidence here. And here you have a Trump OIG, essentially, and many Trump prosecutors, essentially directly contradicting this narrative. Saying there's no evidence here because Horowitz said there was no evidence in 2018 when this was still fresh. Unless we have this new breaking evidence, which we don't. Right? Guarantee that's not the case. Because otherwise there wouldn't be so much dissent in the Trump DOJ. Let's keep listening, though.
But there is the interesting aspect to this is that, as you know, Laura, it's very, very hard to make out perjury cases against particularly sophisticated players like James Comey. This is a little different because they're just focusing on one statement, and that is, did you get someone else to leak information? That's true or false. And his aide and close associate, McCabe, said that he did order him or authorize him to make such a leak. We also know that Comey later admitted that he called a friend, which I'm presuming is Columbia professor Daniel Richman, to get information to the New York Times and to the media after he was fired.
It just blows my mind how low does your IQ have to be accepted as a guest on Fox News? I just don't understand. He contacted the New York Times about information he wanted to be released after the leak happened. You're not even talking about the correct leak here. McCabe leak is before Comey was fired, you idiot. All right. McCabe is a serial liar. We went over that. We know that. McCabe has far more incentive to lie than James Comey. McCabe, his politics are stupid. He's a stupid person. James Comey is not. He's an honest person. He was honest about his mistakes in the 2016 election. And he would not. Who's the deep state? Who's the deep state here that authorized a leak that helped Donald Trump? I mean, was it McCabe? Maybe. I mean, we know McCabe authorized the leak. That's what he said to Horowitz after he spent a whole year lying about it. So, I mean, he said he was authorized by James Comey, but Horowitz also assessed that that was completely false. They looked at all those communications. They looked at everything. Jesus, this is it's like Russian state media. It's no worse and no better. It might be worse.